The Nintendo Switch 2 fixes nearly every complaint about the original, but at a price that makes you wonder if it's worth the upgrade. Here's what you get. The next evolution of Nintendo Switch: one system, 3 play modes, TV, tabletop, and handheld, and larger, vivid, 7.9-inch LCD touchscreen with support for HDR and up to 120 frames per second. The 7.9-inch 1080p LCD display now supports 120 Hz refresh rates and HDR, making games like Zelda and Mario feel buttery smooth. While it's not OLED, the improved brightness and color accuracy are noticeable, especially in handheld mode. The 120 frames per second capability is a game-changer for fast-paced titles, though only a handful of games currently leverage it fully. Backward compatibility is a huge win. You can play almost your entire Switch library on day one, including digital and physical copies. This seamless transition means no need to rebuy games, and many older titles see a slight performance boost. However, some third-party accessories like the original Pro controller may not work wirelessly, so check before upgrading. The new Joy-Con mouse mode is surprisingly useful for strategy games, point-and-click adventures, and even some FPS titles. It works by sliding the Joy-Con on its side and using it like a computer mouse, which is more precise than stick aiming. It's a niche feature, but for games like Civilization or Pikmin, it adds real value. Storage jumps from 32 GB to 256 GB, so you can actually install a few AAA games without immediately needing a microSD card. The UHS-2 card slot supports faster load times, and the internal SSD is much quicker than the original's eMMC. Still, with games pushing 20 to 40 GB, you'll likely need extra storage eventually. The hybrid design is refined. The kickstand is now a full-width metal hinge, the D-pad is back on the left Joy-Con, and the overall build feels more premium. The ergonomics are improved for longer sessions, and the vents on the back keep the console cooler during docked play. It's a solid evolution of the original concept. The LCD panel, while improved, can't match the deep blacks and contrast of an OLED screen found on the Switch OLED or Steam Deck OLED. In dark scenes, you'll notice blooming and washed-out colors. At €449, many competitors offer OLED at this price point, which is a letdown for a next-gen console. €449 is steep for a console that doesn't include a game or even a carrying case. The original Switch launched at €299, and even with inflation, this feels like a premium tax. For that money, you could buy a Steam Deck LCD with similar storage and a larger game library, albeit without Nintendo exclusives. Despite the 120 frames per second marketing, the actual GPU power is still behind the PS5 and Xbox Series S. Docked mode tops out at 1080p or upscaled 4K via software, and demanding third-party games often run at 30 frames per second. If raw performance matters, a gaming PC or even a PlayStation 5 offers more bang for your buck. Battery life remains average, around 4 to 6 hours depending on the game, similar to the original Switch. Fast charging is supported, but the included charger is still 39W, so full charge takes about 3 hours. The Steam Deck OLED lasts longer and charges faster, making the Switch 2 feel dated in this regard. The Nintendo Switch 2 is the best way to play Nintendo's exclusives, with meaningful improvements in display, storage, and controls. But if you already own a Switch, the €449 price tag is hard to justify unless 120 frames per second and mouse controls are must-haves. Check the link in the description for the best current deals on the Nintendo Switch 2, including bundle offers that save you money.